Hey YouTubers, what has happened? Got a new knife today. This is the MBK, which is Monterrey Bay Knives min pin. This is a Ray Laconico design. So a little background on MBK. Monterrey Bay Knives is a collaboration between Samson over at Cutlery and Ray Laconico. They're good friends. Cutlery has always sold a lot of Laconico knives, and they decided to make kind of a company that could bring some of his custom knife designs to the masses for a more expensive, I'm having a hard time with words today, more affordable price. You know, a custom min pin would cost you quite a bit more money. These go for about $225. He's also bringing out his EZC prototype as well. Or not prototype, but EZC model. So the min pin, I believe, is the first one. These are currently sold out, but they were $225 on their website. And they came in a bead blast or satin finish, which I got the satin finish. So it is one of Ray's smaller knife designs. Sanford Owen is the guy's name. I knew it was, I couldn't remember his last name. Cutlery and Ray Laconico. So kind of a new knife coming out. These are being made overseas by a undisclosed dealer, or not dealer, OEM over there in China. Not We Knives, not anything we know of, but they may be, you know, just not disclosing it on purpose because, you know, that's just how they want to do it. So that's totally fine. I will point out, looking at this Kaiser here, who has a relationship with Ray Laconico, and if you look at these two pivots, they're nearly identical. Maybe a coincidence, maybe not. Maybe they just got them from the same knife supplier. Part supplier, who knows, but could be also made by them, who knows. Let's do a quick little measurement. I've got my scale out here. This is a pretty lightweight knife. Weighs in at 2.99 ounces, so just shy of 3 ounces. That's funny, I think Dr. Frankie got like 3.1, but right around 3, let's just call it 3 ounces. You got a titanium handle with a S35 VN blade. Size-wise, you're looking at about a 4-inch handle. Let's show you next to about a 3-inch blade. There is a small Sabenza, which is nearly identical in size. I mean, if you want a flipper small Sabenza with a clip point blade, there you go. Let's do the Hinder half track right there. About the same size knife, so a smaller knife for sure. And that Kaiser we were just talking about, the Feist, is a little bit smaller. And then I tell you, those pivots are identical. Anyway, alright. So that's your size comparisons, your size, your weight. You have a nice, really good looking clip point blade on this. Nice satin grinds on that. Love this swedge right here. Just a beautiful looking blade. I'm a sucker for a good clip point. Especially a good clip point with a swedge like that. It's beautiful. The handle has a different kind of finish on it. It's like a textured, almost orange peel, but not finish on it, on the titanium. A lot different than like what you'd see from a Kaiser knife, or even, I mean, this was at one point bead blasted, now it's just completely full of snail trails, but a little bit different finish. I really like the finish. The finishings are really well done. I love the chamfering on the speed holes as well, and it was only offered this way and in this color. Carbon fiber backspacer, which is great, and a nice titanium clip that works pretty well. I'm just knocking crap over in my little workshop area here. It's not too stiff. It doesn't carry very deep in the pocket, but it's, you know, it's good. Works well. Not too stiff, not too hard to get on and off with your pants. So that's always a plus. So one thing that I love about this knife is the size. Let's get in frame there, Chief. The size is really good for me. I love this size. But it's a smaller handle, but this is one of the most ergonomic handles that I've felt. And the reason why, I think, is because your 3 fingers here, for me, which I have a medium-sized glove, they fit right here. And then this 4th finger kind of rests, the pinky rests right there on this part right here, this heel right here. And that feels amazing. It feels like it was meant to sit there. It's super comfortable. At first I thought, that's not going to be very comfortable. I mean, if you look at like a Sabenza, which has a pretty straight, with a little flare there at the end handle, and that's super comfortable. The Hinderer does something very similar, but does it right. Or excuse me, right here, yeah. Look at that. You can see the similarities there. They've both got this cutout right here, and they both work really well for smaller. For being a smaller knife, you can fit full finger grip on there. So that is really well designed handle. Love that. There's a little Monterrey Bay Knives logo on there, MBK, and then you've got the Laconico, our Laconico, which is his signature. Ray likes to make very simple, simplistic knives. No lock bar insert on this, but this one is totally completely free of lock sticks, so that's great. It does have bearings on this, and flips very nicely. You have a nice cutout here for your finger to disengage the lock bar. That works really well. The action is nice and snappy and pretty smooth. I think with a little disassembly and some knife pivot lube, it will be really good. So I really dig this size, really dig this design. Very simplistic but nice, not heavy, just a perfect size EDC knife for me. A lot of guys like a little bit bigger knife. I tend to gravitate towards these smaller knives. I mean, if you looked at my current state of my collection, I mean, this is my most carried knife recently, the half track. The small Sabenza is my most carried knife of all time, easily. I mean, not that particular one. Well, that one's been pretty used. But, you know, and I've been carrying around this 5. So a lot of smaller sized EDC blades. I just don't need anything bigger, and I feel like these get the job just fine. So I am not gonna love how this satin finish though is just get so many fingerprints on it, but that's what you deal with, right? So a very well designed, well thought out knife. Let's do some measurements here on the handle. I think it's a little bit shy of 5.5, 0.41, actually pretty thin. Your blade stock is 0.154 inches is what I'm getting. And let's see how thin it is behind the edge. 0.0, well, that's pretty thick. That can't be right. Let's try that again. We are 0. I got some fresh batteries in this baby. Oh yeah, that's 0.021, so yeah, 0.021 inches behind the edge. Let's do closer to this heel. 0.0295 as we get to the tip. 0.0285, so a little thinner right here. Kind of right where the belly is. There's a teeny slight recurve on this, not much at all though. But overall, just a great design. Flips great. So I've always loved this design of Ray's, and when it was coming out as an affordable knife, I kind of thought it would be a mid-tech. It is a production knife made by an undisclosed Chinese maker. So let's talk about Laconico for a second and kind of some of his other knives. He has partnered with Kaiser for a long time, like the Gemini, the Intrepid, to name a couple of models. I think that's the 2 he's done with them, and their price points around the 150 to 170 mark. The recently produced Laconico Keen on mass drop was only like $140, $130, $140. S35 titanium. You could get it with these holes. It was a little bit more money. The one I had like just kind of like the groove in the middle. It was like, I think 150. It was a little bit more expensive. Still a great price point for a larger knife. This is a smaller knife, and it's coming at $225. Now, it's not overly priced by any stretch. You look at what a small Sabenza is going to cost you, right? Not saying that's overpriced, but this similar knife, though, made of S35 with kind of a similar, you know, the holes, and the smaller knife is, what do these run, about 170-ish? So you are a little high on the price, I think, on these. Not bad, but I feel like that's a more realistic price. Now they made them in small batches. That could be totally part of it. Is they're made in smaller batches, not so much mass produced, and it could be the fact that the OEM they're using, you know, could have a lot of factors that go into the pricing of this. So, but you know, for me, it's a little on the high side for what you're getting now. On the other side of the coin, you're looking at a custom Ray Laconico design for $225, which is a fantastic deal. So, and the fit and finish and everything on these is nicer than the Kaiser models. The Kaiser models are just kind of just generic. Nothing wrong with them. I like them, obviously. I carry this one a lot, but the finishing on this it looks just much more premium and nicer on this one. So there is a little bit of money there, but overall, first impressions are very good on the Min Pin, guys. It's a fantastic Laconico design, a great little EDC knife. They did say that Sanford did say that The heat treat on their S35 is really good, so be curious to see how it compares to my other S35 knives, which I have a plethora of. I think I just gave myself a paper cut. And what we're going to do is sharpness test, super sharp out of the box, which I love. I don't mind sharpening knives, I can do it. Got all the equipment and the skills, but yeah, it's expensive. It's always nice to have one out of the box and not have to do that. So overall, guys, what do you think? What do you think of the Min Pin? I think it's dope. I like the size, I like the design, I like the ergonomic handle, the weight, the blade shape. It's just a nice little folder, and it's gonna go right into the EDC rotation. I can tell you that right now. Let me know your thoughts, guys. See you in the next video.